You stare at me like you want something.
Hello, Mr. So-and-so here. Now, patch 1.12 just hit for PS4 after 1.11 got more or less an update patch during people downloading it. So apart from the Defenders event, we also got Elektra. As usual, she's exclusive to a store pack for 30 days, and then you can also use Splinters and G after 30 days. Now, I'm already using the alternative costume. Let's have a look at the costumes that Elektra has. Now we have the masked version from Daredevil Season 2. This is included in the pack. There we have the maskless version, and then of course classic Elektra, though I really have to say I'm a big fan of this one. Okay, now let's have a look at the stats here. So fighting, of course, one of our main stats, and therefore let's roll over to traits. Oh, that has changed a lot. Our trade window, so as you can see, Master Assassin offense, fighting and speed are our stats, and base damage plus 20% if enemies are not targeting us.
Even think of touching me, Deadpool, and I'll jab this side through your eardrum.
Health on hit, and damage reduction for being a melee character, of course, and our primary resource is stamina, regenerates at a rate of 10% per second, and regenerates constantly. Now, we can of course not check the talents yet, but as you can see, marked from the shadows, we have apply a mark to an elite or boss enemy you hit while in stealth. And so far, it doesn't explain what marks do. Our synergy.
I thought my dad was harsh, but you have to be pretty incredible to deal with Magneto.
There we go, +1 fighting attribute, and very handy, +3% damage versus bosses. And what is definitely a pity, it was mentioned before that several characters already had their unreleased characters had their synergies in game. People like Black Bolt and Rogue, for instance, was mentioned, so that has already been taken out again. For Black Bolt, for instance, it's 3% critical hit rating or damage, I'm not quite sure, and movement speed. So anyway, for Elektra, we definitely have our synergies ready here. So now let's look at the powers. Side Strike. And, oh yeah, big change here. You unlock buttons only by leveling up. So one thing that I just noticed is, of course, they moved the dash power. This time this is also stealthing us. But as you can see, you need to be level 24 to have all the slots unlocked. So, I don't know what sense that change made to them. To me it felt fine before. Anyway, now we have marked for death. Oh, as you can see, if you mark an elite or boss enemy, they take 25% extra damage. And you can also restore charges for that power. And we have Blossom of Death. Sanitsuken Strike, Melee, and Staff.
A vampire Hulk. I don't even want to think about it.
Shadow Strike. Movement leap. Yeah, I hear she has lots of movement powers, so maybe the sandals will be the most beneficial legendary item for her. Then we have again a movement power behind you. Oh, and there you go. You can only target marked enemies. Melee power. And our signature. Melee and movement. That's definitely nice. Okay, now
Boredom is a worse killer than blades.
to our probably gadget powers. Stealth here.
You hide real pain under that mask, Spider-Man. What have you done?
Yeah, wondering if that is maybe unbreakable like Black Panther stealth, for instance, on Unseen
Quit
Predator.
hopping around and stand
Oh,
still.
sorry, I slipped there. Wave of shurikens. Again, movement. So far, it seems like the X will probably be the item that is the most beneficial one, considering that part here, of course, from our ranged exceptions and stealth exceptions. Our melee powers, the melee powers are sometimes movement, but not always. So going X, if you don't plan to go pure ranged, seems the way to go here. Of course, that's not damaging.
You could be an Avenger
Yeah.
yourself, Star-Lord.
I'm good.
But it seems like the Guardians keep you pretty busy.
There we go. Hero pose.
You stare at me like you want something.
We can of course also have a look at the other costume. But like I said, I'm definitely more a fan of this one. Okay, so if you're still on the fence, which legendary to get, for
There's more
instance,
to
it
life
seems
than money,
the
Mr.
X is
Stark.
the safe
Those
bet.
private islands.
Sandals if you like the faster movement speed, and otherwise if you go pure ranged, of course there will be other options like the Bow of Apollo, or simply something universal like the Macron crystal. Thanks for watching.